let's move on to the unit. You guys are still in Unit 1, but today you guys are moving on to Term 7. Let's check the schedule. Today you are going to move on to the hearing or the sound of your favorite thing. Today I am not going to be there for you, so please listen to Miss Takami and so as Miss Hells, and if you have any questions, please ask them. But again, you guys are taking English art, so you gotta speak all in English. Today is Idea Exploration Day, and today you are going to explore ideas related to onomatopoeia from your selected motif. Speaking of onomatopoeia, you can think about sound effects in manga or comic books. Not just in Japanese, you can also see sound effects in English version comic books or manga as well, like in here, chomp chomp, muk muk. Not just the sound too, I want you to check the design of onomatopoeia or the sound effect that you can see in manga and comic books too. This is one of my favorite comic books. Do you know One Punch Man or One Punch Man in Japanese? They have a German version as well, so I just wanted to share to you. Look, in German too, Glock, you can see the sound effect as well. Since there's more onomatopoeia or sound effect in Japanese compared to other languages, sometimes it's not translated into English nor other languages in comic books or mangas. But that's okay, you still can think about English sound effects or onomatopoeia for idea exploration today. Because you guys are working in English, I thought it's difficult to think about onomatopoeia in English. So I made this vocab list, and I think I've already shown this to you in term 1 of this unit 1. And I've already posted this in the bulletin board in front of the art room. So you can always check this to think about what goes well with the selected motif. Another one that you have to check is the worksheet that you have received in term 1. Check what you wrote in the worksheet and select 2 different onomatopoeia of the fruit or vegetable that you chose. Onomatopoeia does not always have to be the sound of eating. You can also select the cutting sound of the selected motif. And this is your assignment. You are going to use 2 cards and make fancy typography with sound effects or onomatopoeia that you chose. When you make fonts fancy, you have to think about the basic font first. As you can see in here, the basic font of the sound puchi puchi is in the center. From this font, think whether you want to make it more soft or hard look or more contemporary or traditional look. And of course, you can make it more fancy. You can use comic books or mangas as references as well. But again, you are in English art, so you gotta think about English fonts. The basic font of the English is Arial. So let's start from Arial and think again whether you want to make it soft or hard look or contemporary or traditional look. And again in here you can make it more fancy even in English. But remember, you gotta make it fancy that goes well or matches with the sound that you selected or the fruit or vegetable that you selected. Alright, now you have to fill out the worksheet. Ms. Takami and Ms. Hells, could you please stop the video and give students this worksheet term 7? Once they got the worksheet, could you please play the video again so they'll get to listen to the instructions? Thank you. Alright, let's start. Like I said earlier, before moving on to decorating letters, think about basic font. So since you guys are taking English art, you can start from Arial font. So I recommend you to open the Word document and type in onomatopoeia with Arial font. And then step 1, you are gonna write letters of onomatopoeia that you selected with the basic font, which is Arial font, to the worksheet. Step 2, trace letters with a colored pen and erase the marks of pencils. And you do the same for all others. Again, sound 1, sound 2, so you gotta have 2 different sounds. If you want to make all letters capitalized or make it diagonal, then you can start with capitalized letters and so as diagonal letters. I of course recommend you to use Arial as a basic font, but if you want to try out others, you may. But remember, don't make it too fancy at the beginning, because later on you are going to add fancy lines and space anyway. Once you finish with the basic fonts, you can move on to decorations. So step 3, add decorations to letters. When you add decorations to letters, you may use pencils. When you add decorations to letters, think about 7 elements and principles of art as well. For example, texture. How much broken lines you wanted to show the texture. You can think about the texture of the font. I also want you to think about the line as well, like a style. So, do you want curved line or straight lines? I also want you to think about length and thickness of the font too. And contrast. Do you want to make it inside black or white? This is kind of similar to texture, but you can also think about pattern. What kind of pattern do you want to add inside of the font to visualize the sound better? And even more, do you want to add shadow or make your letters diagonal or cursive, or you can even add more fancy outlines. You have to come up with 2 different types of sound or onomatopoeia in the worksheet, and you also have to come up with 4 different decorations in the worksheet. So when you get stuck with an ideas, you may research manga sound effects through the internet. Once you finish with exploring ideas in the front page of the first worksheet, you are moving on to the second worksheet. So step 4, select one idea for each onomatopoeia and draw them on the next worksheet. Starting from here, the step 5, you are going to work on next week. Trace onomatopoeia to cards with a pencil. And then step 6, color letters with a black Copic. Step 7, use a black pen to clean up any stray lines and remove all draft lines with erasers. Finally, step 8, cut outlines with scissors. Please cut little by little. Ta-da! This is the completion of the artwork, and you are going to do the same for second onomatopoeia. If you get lost of what you're doing, then you can always check these procedures. And again, you have to complete step 1 through 4 by next week. So you have to complete your worksheet before the next lesson. Just as usual, please set a goal for today on the Art Process Journal, the digital version. That's it for today, and let's write a reflection of today. What was the challenges, and is there the part that did not go good? How can you fix that next time? You are going to continue working on onomatopoeia artwork next term. And also, you are going to finish making this artwork by next term. So, what I want you to do for homework is complete 2 sheets of the Term 7 worksheet. Next time, you are going to turn that in. And I also want you to bring black pen. See you guys!